Module 3. Ethics and the Human Body. Morality and Sexual Freedom. The morality of relative sexual freedom is a subject of debate. Advocates argue that individuals have the right to explore and express their sexuality freely, if it involves consenting adults. They emphasize personal autonomy, fulfillment, and the rejection of moral judgments based on sexual preferences. Opponents may cite religious or traditional moral frameworks, asserting that certain sexual behaviors are inherently immoral or violate established norms. They may raise concerns about the objectification of individuals and the potential erosion of stable relationships or family structures. The morality of pornography is highly contested. Supporters argue that it can be a form of expression, a source of pleasure, and a means of exploring sexual fantasies. They emphasize consenting adult participation and freedom of speech. Critics raise concerns about exploitation, objectification, and the potential for harm, particularly regarding the portrayal of women. They argue that pornography may contribute to unrealistic expectations, unhealthy attitudes towards sex, and the perpetuation of gender inequality. The morality of prostitution engenders diverse perspectives. Advocates may argue that consensual sex work should be decriminalized or legalized, considering it a matter of personal choice and individual agency. They emphasize harm reduction, improved safety and regulation, and economic empowerment for sex workers. Opponents contend that prostitution is inherently exploitative, rooted in inequality and coercion. They raise concerns about human trafficking, violence, and the commodification of the human body. Consequences for the individual and society. The morality of human sexuality has significant consequences for both individuals and society. On an individual level, sexual freedom, when exercised responsibly, can contribute to self-expression, personal growth, and fulfilling relationships. However, the consequences of pornography and prostitution can vary widely. Negative consequences may include the objectification of individuals, harmful societal attitudes towards sex and relationships, potential psychological and emotional harm, and the perpetuation of exploitation or gender inequality. Positive consequences can arise from open and informed discussions, education, and efforts to create a safe and respectful environment for sexual expression. Patient-practitioner relationship. The patient-practitioner relationship encompasses a range of approaches, from the paternalistic model, where the healthcare professional makes decisions on behalf of the patient, to the collegial model, which emphasizes shared decision-making. Ethical considerations involve respecting patient autonomy, informed consent, and the balancing of professional expertise with patient preferences. The issue of when and how to disclose the truth to patients is a complex ethical challenge. While truth-telling is generally considered a fundamental principle, there may be circumstances where withholding certain information is deemed necessary to protect the patient's well-being or ensure effective treatment. Informed consent, which requires disclosing relevant information to patients, also raises ethical concerns regarding the balance between patient autonomy and beneficence. A doctor is a qualified technician treating and improving the body. Doctors, of course, come in many different forms and specialties. Medical professionals, such as doctors, are obligated to maintain patient confidentiality, protecting sensitive information shared during treatment. However, ethical dilemmas may arise when patients pose a risk to themselves or others. The duty to warn involves the delicate balance between maintaining confidentiality and the responsibility to protect potential victims from harm. Behavior control and ethical considerations. The ethics of behavior control in medical settings present challenges. While healthcare professionals should respect patient autonomy and choices, they may face ethical dilemmas when patients' behavior poses risks to their health or others. Balancing individual freedom and the promotion of well-being requires careful consideration of patient rights, cultural perspectives, and the potential impact on overall health outcomes. Embryonic stem cell research. Embryonic stem cell research is a field of scientific inquiry that can advance medical science and human health. Stem cells can differentiate into various specialized cell types, making them valuable in understanding and studying human development, disease mechanisms, and regenerative medicine. However, the ethical debates surrounding the use of embryonic stem cells have sparked controversy and hindered progress in this groundbreaking area of research. Embryonic stem cells, derived from human embryos, can develop into any cell type in the body. This allows scientists to study human development, identify disease mechanisms, and develop potential therapies. Embryonic stem cell research offers hope for treating a wide range of conditions, including neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, cardiovascular diseases, spinal cord injuries, and diabetes. Embryonic stem cells also provide an essential platform for drug discovery and toxicology testing. By generating disease-specific stem cells, researchers can create patient-specific models to study the efficacy and safety of potential drugs. This personalized approach can lead to more accurate predictions of drug responses, reducing the risk of adverse reactions in patients. Ethical concerns surrounding embryonic stem cell research stem from the destruction of human embryos during the cell extraction process. Critics argue that human embryos have the potential for life and should be afforded the same moral status as a human being. They argue that developing human embryos to test on and then disregard does not protect human dignity. To address these concerns, scientists have been exploring alternative sources of stem cells, such as induced pluripotent stem cells, which reprogrammed adult cells that exhibit similar properties to embryonic stem cells. This avoids the need for embryo destruction. While these show great promise, they are still being refined, and their full potential has yet to be realized. Ethics of body trading and human tissue banking. Trading or selling functioning body parts and putting away tissues or body parts for later use present complex ethical considerations that challenge our fundamental beliefs about the sanctity of the human body and the dignity of people. As advancements in medical science and technology continue to expand, the demand for human tissue and organs has grown, raising ethical questions about consent, exploitation, and the equitable distribution of resources. One of the key ethical concerns in body trading is the issue of consent. Human bodies and tissues are often acquired from people who may not fully understand the implications of their decision or have the capacity to provide informed consent. This raises questions about autonomy and the exploitation of vulnerable populations, such as those in poverty or marginalized communities. Protecting their rights and dignity requires ensuring that consent is obtained in a transparent and ethical manner, with proper safeguards in place. Moreover, the demand for transplantable organs far exceeds the available supply, leading to a thriving underground market for organs. This creates a scenario where those with financial means can exploit the disadvantaged by purchasing their organs, perpetuating social inequality and compromising the principles of justice and fairness. Furthermore, the commercialization of human tissue raises concerns about the inherent value and commodification of the human body. Treating the human body as a tradable commodity undermines the intrinsic worth and dignity of individuals, reducing them to objects for profit. Balancing the need for medical advancements with respect for human dignity requires ethical frameworks that emphasize the primacy of human well-being over financial gain.